Hello friends, welcome to my new video about excitation contraction coupling process in skeletal muscle. Let us start about the discussion. Now, what are the changes that take place during the muscular contraction? So, these are the electrical changes, physical changes, histological or molecular changes, chemical changes and thermal changes. So what are the changes that occurs during the muscular contraction? So we will discuss in this topic. So first of all, the muscle contracts when it is stimulated, and contraction of the muscle is a physical or mechanical event. And in addition, there are certain or several other changes that occurs in the muscle. So molecular basis of the muscular contraction. So molecular mechanism is responsible for the formation of the ectomyosin complex that results in muscular contraction, and it includes three stages: excitation contraction coupling, role of the troponin and tropomyosin, and sliding mechanism. Excitation contraction coupling, it is the process that occurs between the excitation and contraction of the muscle, and this process involves a series of the activities which are responsible for the contraction of excited muscle. So what are the stages of excitation contraction coupling process? So when a muscle is excited by the impulse passing through the motor nerve and neuromuscular junction, the action potential is generated in the muscle fiber. So first, the nerve impulse that or action potential that arrives at axon terminal and through motor nerve. This nerve impulse that reaches to axon terminal and it loses its myelin sheath. So action potential that arrives at initiates synaptic transmission. Now the sodium channel that opens and depolarizing the axon terminal membrane. So depolarization of the terminal membrane that causes voltage gated calcium channel to open. Now this calcium ions that enters the cell and triggers the fusion of the acetylcholine vesicles with the presynaptic membrane. So now these acetylcholine molecules that diffuse across the synaptic cleft and bind to the receptor on the postsynaptic membrane. So now these activated receptors, nicotinic acetylcholine receptors that open chemically gated sodium channel and depolarize the postsynaptic membrane. Now this spreading of the depolarization that fires the action potential in the postsynaptic membrane. Now this action potential that spreads over the sarcolemma and enters into the muscle fibers through T-tubules. So in this way, the nerve impulse that reaches at postsynaptic membrane. And this is another flow chart that occurs at neuromuscular junction. So axon potential that reaches the axon terminal through motor nerve fiber, then there is a opening of the voltage gated calcium channel, then there is an entry of the calcium ions from the extracellular fluid and opening of the vesicles, and then there is a release of acetylcholine from the synaptic vesicles and then enters into the synaptic cleft. Now at the postsynaptic membrane, this acetylcholine bind with the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors and forms the acetylcholine receptor complex, and that opens the sodium channel, and there is an entry of the sodium ions from the extracellular fluid, and then there is a development of the end plate potential, and in the muscle fibers there is a generation of the action potential, and this action potential is responsible for the excitation contraction coupling. And how So we will discuss in forthcoming slide how the muscular contraction occurs. So now the action potential that spreads over the sarcolemma and also into the muscle fibers through T tubules, and the T tubules are responsible for the rapid spread of the action potential into muscle fiber. When the action potential that reaches the cisternae of the L tubules, these cisternae are excited, and then the calcium that are stored in the cisternae that are released into the sarcoplasm. Now this calcium ions from the sarcoplasm that move towards the actin filaments to produce contraction. So first of all, there is a excitation of the muscle fibers by the impulse passing through the motor nerve and neuromuscular junction, then generation of the action potential into the muscle fiber, then spread of the action potential via the T tubules, then entrance of the action potential in the cisternae of the L tubules, and then there is a release of the calcium ions from the cisternae and movement of the calcium ions towards the actin filaments, and then it leads to contraction of the muscle fiber. So this is a flow chart. Now the calcium ions that are released from the L tubules that forms the link or coupling material between the excitation and the contraction of the muscle, and the calcium ions that forms the basis of the excitation contraction coupling process. Then what is the role of the troponin and tropomyosin molecules? Now normally the head of the myosin molecules has a strong tendency to get attached with the active site of the F-actin molecules. So this one is a tropomyosin molecules and this one is a troponin and this is a G-actin and this is a myosin head that has a two sites for binding, one for ATP and one for actin molecules. However, in relaxed condition, the active site of the F-actin is covered by tropomyosin. So in this way, in relaxed state, the active site of the actin is covered by tropomyosin. Therefore, the myosin head cannot combine with the actin molecule. Now large number of the calcium ions which are released from the L tubules during the excitation of the muscle that bind with the troponin C. Here it binds with the troponin molecule, troponin C. Now the loading of the troponin C with the calcium ion that produces some configurational changes in the position of the troponin molecule. So here you can see in this flow chart. So calcium level increases in the cytosol. This is the first stage that are released from the L tubules, and then this calcium ion that binds with the troponin C. Now this troponin calcium complex that pulls the tropomyosin away from the G-actin binding sites so that the myosin binds to actin and complex and completes the power stroke and actin filament moves. This is a power stroke. Now in turn it pulls the tropomyosin molecules away from the F-actin, and due to the movement of the tropomyosin, the active site of the F-actin is uncovered and exposed. Immediately the head of the myosin gets attached to the actin molecule. Then sliding mechanism and formation of the ectomyosin complex. So sliding theory that explain how the actin filaments slide over the myosin filament and form the ectomyosin complex during the muscular contraction, and that is known as ratchet theory or walk along theory. Now each cross bridge from the myosin filament has got three components, namely the hinge, arm and head. So this is a myosin head and this is a hinge portion and this one is a tail portion. So after binding with the active site of the F actin, the myosin head is tilted towards the arm, and so that the actin filament is dragged along with it. So this tilting of the head is known as power stroke. So you can see in this figure how the tilting of the head occurs. So after tilting, the head immediately breaks away from the active site and returns to its original position, and then it combines with the new active site on the actin molecule. And tilting movement occurs again and again. So the head of cross bridge bends back and forth and pulls the actin filaments towards the center of the sarcomere. So you can see here, so tilting of the head that occurs back and forth and pulls these actin filaments towards the center of the sarcomere. So in this diagram, in stage 1, you can see the myosin head that binds with the actin molecule. And in stage 2, there is a tilting of the myosin head, and that forms a power stroke that drags the actin filaments. In this way, all the actin filaments of both the ends of the sarcomere are pulled. So the actin filaments of the opposite sides overlap and form the ectomyosin complex. And formation of the ectomyosin complex results in contraction of the muscle. So here you can see in this figure, this is a sliding filaments. Now when the muscle shortens further, the actin filaments from the opposite ends of the sarcomere approach each other. So the edge zone becomes narrow and two Z lines comes closer with the reduction in the length of the sarcomere. So this phenomena you can see here very well. This is the edge zone becomes narrower, or sometimes it disappears, and 2Z line that comes closer with reduction in the length of the sarcomere. And this is a contracting muscles. However, the length of the A band, this is a band. This is not altered, but the length of the I band that decreases. This is a I band, so its size decreases. When the muscular contraction becomes severe, the actin filaments from the opposite ends overlap and the edge zone disappears. So this is a flow chart for the sliding mechanism. So first of all, there is a release of the large amount of the calcium ion from the cistern of the L tubule. Now this binding of the calcium ions with the troponin, then there is a configurational changes in the troponin molecule, and this pulling of the tropomyosin molecule away from the F actin, then there is a exposure of the active site of the F actin, then attachment of the myosin head to the actin, and then there is a formation of the power stroke, means there is a tilting of the myosin head and dragging of the actin filament. Then there is a detachment of the myosin head and returning to its original position. Attachment of the myosin head to new active site of the F actin and dragging of the actin filament, and repetition of this process occurs. Movement of the actin filament of both the sides towards each other and formation of the ectomyosin complex occurs, and then it leads to contraction of the muscle. Now what are the changes that occurs in the sarcomere during the muscular contraction? So the changes that take place in the sarcomere during the muscular contraction are: length of all the sarcomere decreases as the Z line comes close to each other. Then length of the I band decreases since the actin filaments from the opposite side overlap. Edge zone either decreases or disappears. then length of the A band remains same. Then energy for the muscular contraction. So energy for the movement of the myosin head means power stroke, that is obtained by the breakdown of the adenosine triphosphate into adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate. Head of the myosin has a site for ATP molecules. Actually, the head itself can act as the enzyme ATPase and catalyze the breakdown of ATP. Even before the onset of the contraction, an ATP molecules binds with the myosin head. When the tropomyosin moves to expose the active site, the head is attached to active site. Now the ATPase that cleaves ATP into ADP and inorganic phosphate, which remains in head itself, and the energy is released during this process is utilized for the contraction of the muscle fiber. Now when the head is tilted, the ADP and phosphate are released and new ATP molecule binds with the head, and this process is repeated until the muscular contraction is completed. Now discuss about the relaxation of the muscle. So relaxation of the muscles occur when the calcium ions are pumped back into the L tubules. When the calcium ions enter the L tubules, calcium content in the sarcoplasm decreases, and that leads to release of the calcium ions from the troponin molecule, and it causes detachment of the myosin from the actin, followed by relaxation of the muscle. Now the detachment of the myosin from the actin obtains energy from the breakdown of ATP. So the chemical process of the muscular relaxation, that is a active process, although the physical process is said to be passive. So this is a flow chart for the muscular relaxation. So pumping of the calcium ions into the L tubules, decrease in the sarcoplasmic calcium content, and release of the calcium ions from the troponin C, and detachment of the myosin head from the F actin, and it leads to muscular relaxation. Thank you very much. And if there is any questions or query regarding this lecture, please write down in comment section and please give me a feedback. Thank you very much.